Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is Entrepreneur and so much more. Joining me here is my friend, this guy. There's not enough time for me to say all the wonderful things that I have learned from him. He is one of those stand-up people that you just happen to meet. You're introduced through this person to that person, and all of a sudden you connect with somebody at a level that you could never even imagine. He himself is an entrepreneur. He has helped transform people's lives. He has taken a journey from where his business was to where it is. It's an incredible story. We're going to be bringing him out. He also is a huge advocate, helping other people in charitable ways. He and I have another show we're going to be doing together, which is to support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Let's bring him out. Justin Mirigliani, welcome.
JACALYN, as usual, thank you for the beautiful introduction. I really appreciate it. The feeling is mutual, and you know that.
Yes, I feel a special place in my heart for you, and you're just such an amazing guy. And you have your own experience broadcasting. This is nothing new to you, and
Absolutely.
You're a natural at it.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much. And you know what? What's funny is last show we had with Rolf Bernerska, which was really, really cool. And today we have another football star to talk to. So everybody's going to think that I'm just a football guy, but it just so happens that our first two guests both played in the NFL, so it's pretty neat. And in USFL, by the way.
That's very cool. And
Yeah.
Before we bring out our guests, I'm going to spotlight you. And for people who are joining us for the first time, who is Justin, and what is the value that you're bringing to this beautiful world?
Well, my name is Justin Mirigliani. Some of you may know me from other shows. What I do is I run a company called Just For You Training and Consulting, and I teach people a lot of computer software, but also soft skills, conflict management, time management. And really, my goal is to help people get the most out of their careers, give them skills that they're going to be able to use now and into the future. And we're also branching out, and we're going to try to start teaching kids, because a lot of times now kids are not getting the Microsoft applications in school, and they're going to need those skills when they get out of school. So we're really excited about doing those kinds of things. So my website is www.justforutc.com. You can reach out to me there. My cell number is 610-324-5545. You can call me. And I do one-on-one classes. I also do group sessions, and mostly corporate, but I do individual classes as well. And then I also run the charity, as JACALYN talked about. I run Checkmates Charitable Association. We are in the preliminary stages of having our, this will be our fifth, I believe, NHL celebrity alumni hockey game coming up, probably either in the fall of 2022 or spring of 2023. So I'm really excited about that. I hope we could get that back up after COVID killed us for a few years. So it's nice to get back.
That is exciting, Justin.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So tell us about Ken, who's backstage.
Absolutely. So really, when I meet people, I look for things to tell me what kind of person they are. One thing about me, I could talk to a group of 250, 400, 500 people with no problem. I could do TV. As you know, I did TV years ago in front of 35 million people a night. One thing I can't do is I don't feel comfortable when I walk into a room and I don't know anybody. I really have trouble making those connections, trying to start a conversation. I'm fine once I get an introduction. So I went to one of the Jersey Man events really early on, and I was trying to decide whether I was going to join or not. And I was standing there and I was feeling out of place, and I looked around. I didn't see any faces I recognized, and I'm very uncomfortable because that's just the way I am. I mean, I couldn't even ask girls out when I was a young man before I was married. I couldn't make the approach. If you introduced me to somebody, that I could do that, but I just wasn't good at the approach. And I'm standing there, and all of a sudden Ken taps me on the shoulder, and he's got a plate of food for me, and he hands me the plate of food. And I Ken probably doesn't remember that, but that was his way of saying, here, welcome to the club. And he took an interest in making sure that I felt more comfortable. So it was really cool. And I joined that night. So you never know what little tiny thing that you can do that will make a difference to somebody. But Ken started a wonderful club, the Jersey Man Club. I'm a part of it now for 2 years. Great group of people. They're always looking to try to help you grow your business or charity or both. And Ken runs it. He's done wonderful with it. Also, he has JerseyMan Magazine, which is fantastic. And as he'll tell us when he comes on, he's also branching out now into Miami. So that's really exciting. Ken played for the Eagles when they went to the Super Bowl in 1980. He was one of their tight ends. And then he played for the Philadelphia and Baltimore Stars in the USFL. And the first year they went to the championship and they didn't win. But the last 2 years of that league before it folded, Ken's Stars won the whole thing. So he's a champion as well. And he's a champion in business. So it's great to have him on the show today.
I'm really interested to hear how he made that transition from
Yes.
sports to business and how he's so successful. Let's welcome him to the program. Hi, Ken.
Hey, hello. How are
Hey,
you?
Ken.
Thanks for having me on. Justin, I appreciate that story. I don't necessarily remember it. I'm just surprised that I didn't eat the plate of food before I handed it to you. So, but whatever happened, it worked out for the best. So.
It did. Absolutely.
Ken, I'm wondering, I'm just going to spotlight you for people who are not familiar with the magazine and the club and what you offer. We want to have people reaching out and joining. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, Jersey Man was a magazine that we developed the concept to create a magazine focusing on men's interest, but not to be exclusive of women. The reason why we went in that direction was because we didn't see anything in the marketplace similar. So, and of course, I have a wife and 4 daughters, and they would kill me if there was anything untoward in the magazine. So it's very women friendly. We have women writers. We do features on women. But we started this in December of 2010 at a very difficult time. The economy was still reeling from the recession, and people were actually getting out of the publishing business at the time. But we thought it was unique enough that it had a chance to work. And I was in the wholesale paper business, selling papers to printers and magazines and newspapers. And I had friends in the printing business. So a couple partners and I just decided to take a shot because we could buy the paper economically, we could have it printed economically, and of course, we went forward with the idea, and Jersey Man Magazine was born. About 3 years later, we branched out into Philadelphia, so there's PhillyMan Magazine as well, but we still needed to develop other income sources because it's very difficult these days, I'm sure you know, to sell print advertising. So we created a club called the Legacy Club, which was really a way for non-advertisers to attend our private parties. We were doing monthly parties at that time. And it was an immediate success. The right people were showing up. We signed up 100 members at an annual fee right away. And it helped sustain the losses that we were incurring as a business from the magazine. And the club has just grown in 6.5 years. We now have 300 plus members. From that was spawned a chairman's club, which is a 5-figure investment. I take them to dinner 4 times a year at a nice restaurant. They get a full page ad in the magazine. They get introduced personally at every live event. And that club has, I believe, about 18 members now. So the networking aspect of our business actually has superseded the advertising revenue that we bring in from the magazine. And it's worked so well to the point where we're selling franchises now. So there's a Boston Man magazine. They're up and running, doing well. We're starting Miami Man magazine, as you mentioned, and we're pretty excited about that market. So, and we'll see where it goes, but we're really happy with our progress. I feel very blessed every day that we've been able to attract people like Justin to our network, and they tell people about it, and it's just grown dramatically. We're so thankful for that.
Ken, congratulations. I love this success story. There are so many nuggets of information that we can drill down on to help other people, because you really had to shift from what you were doing and come up with some other ways to bring in revenue, and you continue to grow your business. Well done. We do have a comment. You're welcome. Ken Toscano, I love you, Ken. How are you? Such a good man. Ken is doing a great job. He writes, cool. I'm a legacy member of PhillyMan, JerseyMan for 5 years. Well, thanks for watching, Ken.
Yeah, Ken's been an important part of our group and just had his 5-year anniversary, and we'll have a nice gift for him at the next event. And one of the benefits of creating what we've done is, people like Justin and Ken, I look forward to seeing them at these events, and they're like friends. They are friends. And we didn't anticipate that happening, but we have such close relationships with a lot of our club members. And a lot of the feedback that we get from people is it's really like family. My wife and 2 of my 4 daughters work the business. They're at the reception desk. They welcome people in. And it's really a bunch of people who really like and care for each other, gather every 4 to 6 weeks. And I think that's part of the reason why it's so successful.
Yeah. Ken, how tough was it over the 2 years of the pandemic? I mean, I didn't get a chance to come out and go to many events because I'm immunocompromised.
Of course.
So for you and for the club, did you see a difference, or were you able to
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you talked about a pivot earlier. We had to pivot from being just a magazine to being a networking club and group. And we had to do another pivot 2 years ago when the pandemic hit. So much of our revenue is derived from these live events. And all of a sudden, we were looking at the challenge of not having live events. Well, how do you keep a live event club alive if you can't do live events? That's something that we never anticipated. And but we went forward. We did what we had to do. I made a decision early on that I was going to get the vaccine as soon as I could, and I was going to continue to try to run my business. I made the joke that I'd rather die than die broke, so I was going to go down swinging, and that's exactly what I did. I never altered my lifestyle one bit. I went out wherever I could, meeting people who were willing to meet at that time. We did events, as you know, Justin, on Zoom. We did them outside under heaters. We risked a fine when we were meeting at some places. But for us, it was, really the cost of doing business. So we were able to maintain the club memberships. And now that the pandemic is waning, our memberships are through the roof, and we're in the best place we've ever been. And I'm not going to lie to you, there were some sleepless nights and, wondering what was going to happen, but we just stayed the course and did the best we could. And we also did something that I think was pretty smart. We waived the invoices for the magazine that was coming out, that first issue, because we weren't sure what was going to happen. We knew people were hurting in their businesses. So we just said, the heck with it. We're just going to give everything for free. And then we gave a couple months of club memberships free on the back end for people, so they could enjoy the benefits of the club, even though they couldn't get out for a couple months. And then, once the summertime hit a couple of years ago, we were able to do some stuff outside. But it was tricky. It was kind of like the guy that's spinning the plates. We were going from one plate to the other, trying to keep it alive. And we did that. And now we're optimistic that hopefully the club will get back to normal.
Yeah, I was there in the last couple of events, and they were really great. So it felt really, really good to see everybody and to be back to as close to normal as possible. So that was great. And like Ken said, the Zoom events were great too. We were able to connect, and it's nice, especially when you're looking at your 4 walls all day long every day. It's nice to see people.
Well, our philosophy was that, we felt like people had to continue to try to do business somehow. So that's what we did. We provided a platform for people that, couldn't meet or weren't willing to meet in public. And we did it via Zoom, and we did it for maybe 6 to 8 months, off and on. We integrated some live events during that time that, outside that people were able to attend if they wanted to. And we just continued to try to connect people the best that we could. And I think we were successful at it.
Ken, you're a champion athlete. You won the championship in the USFL, and you had a great college career. And question I have for you, I was never an athlete to close to that level, but I did play competitive ice hockey. And I wish I knew in my last game that I played that was competitive to savor that moment. I didn't know that years later I would really miss that there's really something that's missing. How did you, I'm sure for you it must have been amplified being a pro athlete. How did you find something to take the place of that incredible feeling of competition?
Well, that's a great question. I've told this story a lot. Very quickly, my athletic career has been a little bit scattershot. I did not play high school football at all. I was a basketball player at a small high school up in Northern Illinois. I went to junior college in Paducah, Kentucky. I got a full ride in basketball to Memphis State University, which was a high-profile NCAA program, still is. And never having played football, and I was outside the athletic dorm one day throwing a football around. The tight ends coach saw me. He asked me if I'd ever played football. He brought me to the office. He had me run a 40. I was 6'6", 235. I ran a 4.6 40, and all of a sudden,
Wow.
His eyes grew pretty wide, and he said, that's a first-round draft choice potential. You have to try this. So I knew I wasn't going to play in the NBA, so I decided to give it a try. And I was pretty good at it. Started for 2 years there, and then got 3 free agent offers to go to the NFL from the Saints, Rams, and Eagles. And I chose the Eagles primarily because they were the best team at that time. And I thought if I got released from the Eagles, that maybe one of the lesser teams might pick me up. I thought if the Saints, who were terrible at the time, signed me and released me, then my career was over before it started, knowing full well that Dick Vermeil ran a very hard training camp. And I was right. I lost 24 pounds my rookie year. The good news in that training camp, the good news is that the 2 tight ends ahead of me, Keith Krepfle and John Spagnola, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for me, they got hurt in preseason. So I was actually able to play most of the first preseason game at Buffalo, and then I started the first home preseason game against the Jets, and I played well enough in those games that Dick Vermeil decided to keep me on the roster. Started out on injured reserve, was activated midway through the season, and they got hurt very late in the season. But I was able to attend the playoff games with the team, went down to the Super Bowl and participated in practice and was at the game and, got paid for doing that. So it was a great experience. I got released from the Eagles the next season. I went from the Colts to the Giants to the Philadelphia Stars of the USFL. And that was a great team. I mean, people forget that Reggie White, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Herschel Walker, all these great players started out in USFL, and the Stars were the best team in that league. We went to the championship game all 3 years, and we won the last 2 titles. I will say that playing sports my entire life, it was a culture shock when it was finally over for me to go out and make a living. I had 4 daughters. I needed to provide for my family. I had an above average lifestyle because of football, but then it was over. And I literally went from signing autographs one day to getting the door slammed into my face in a sales job the week later. And it was a difficult transition. I think the one thing I've been able to do is that competitive fire still burns in me. And I have the same feeling when I sign someone to a club contract or to an advertising deal. I have that same feeling as when I scored a touchdown or scored a basket in basketball. And that's what drives me. That feeling, I feed off of that. I guess it's part of my my makeup and competitive nature. And that's been my success in business. I've been able to use that competitive spirit to carry over into business, and it looks like it's paid off.
Oh, it's definitely paid off. Absolutely.
What an incredible journey you've had.
Yeah, kind of crazy. I mean, you wouldn't. it's not how anybody would have mapped out a career, but it is mine. And listen, I've had some wonderful things happen to me. As a matter of fact, Dick Vermeil, my coach, just got inducted just got nominated for the Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted in August. Just got an email from him today. We're all going to go down. My Stars teammate Sam Mills is in that same class, so we're going to celebrate him as well. And my jersey actually hangs in the Hall of Fame in the USFL exhibit, so I'm excited to go there and see that and take some pictures with my wife. And but I've just been so very fortunate with going in a roundabout way, having a successful athletic and business career.
Ken, you talk about Terry too. One thing that has been a constant in my life is whenever I wanted to try something new, something out of the ordinary, something that might be risky, I've always talked to my wife about it and said, Amy, can we do this? What do you think? And she's always been so supportive about it.
Yeah.
It seems that you and Terry have the same type of relationship. She really seems to be a rock for you.
No question. I mean, listen, I had a really good job when I started this magazine. I walked away from it, but I asked her, I said, listen, I've got this idea. I think I can make it work. And she said, I believe you can do anything that you want to do. I'm fully behind it. And having somebody like that in your corner supporting you really makes all the difference in the world. And this was a risky thing at the time we started this. I believe I still had 4 kids in college, or probably Ashley, I think, was in graduate school at the time, but I have triplet daughters and they were still in college. So it was a risk, but she was behind me 100%. She always has been. And we just had our 40th anniversary yesterday. We celebrated that with our girls, and she's been a great partner. I couldn't have picked a better one.
Congratulations. That's
yes,
great.
congratulations.
40 years. That's beautiful. And I've met Ken's daughters also work with the Legacy Club, and they do a great job. They're really, it's neat to see a family work all together like that. And I think it's kind of rare, actually. So it's a testament to how you raised your kids.
Well, thanks. I mean, it wasn't by design. Ashley was a teacher. She had a master's in education, but was having a tough time finding a teaching job. And she came on board with Legacy Club, and she's done a great job. She runs all the events. She's, like I said, she's down in Miami, prepping the Miami market for what we're going to do down there this year. And she's really been my right-hand man. I didn't plan for it, but I'm very grateful for it. Then Alexandra, who works in our office, writes the fitness column. She's a cancer survivor. She runs the office here administratively, and so I get to work with 2 of my girls every day, which I'm blessed. The other 2 daughters are nurses in the city, but they come over every weekend. We have a great family. There's not a day that goes by I'm not grateful for that.
That's fantastic.
Ken, you've had a tremendous amount of success, and I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on the anniversary. Question I'd love to have you answer for our audience. As we know, there's the great resignation. People have been leaving corporate and looking to go out on their own. You had this great career as a professional athlete, and yet you found there were challenges going into the business world, and then you decided to take a risk and do what it is you're doing now. What can you share with our audience about taking risks when it comes to trying something new? Where is that balance, that scale that you figure, okay, I've got the support of my loved ones, I have a great concept. Are there anything else that we have to consider when we take these risks?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to consider the situation you're in. Obviously, if you're single and don't have a lot of bills to pay and don't have people relying on you to make a living, it's easier. And had I been single at the time, I would have taken risk after risk after risk until I hit on something that worked. When you're married and have a family, there's more to consider besides your own success. My recommendation to people would be to do a side hustle. Do something that you're passionate about. It really helps when you love what you're doing. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. When you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. And I love this project. I love the magazine. I eat, drink, and sleep it every day. and it's my passion. So it's easy for me to get up and go to work in the morning. I made a decision 11 years ago that if I continue to work hard for someone else, making someone else rich, well, that's okay. But then I have to accept, the restraints of time and limited vacation and cutting back on health benefits and all the things that happen to employees these days. And I just decided, with my wife's support, like we said, to go for it. And if you have a good product, service, or idea, and you talk to people about it, eventually you will meet the people that help make you a success. It's that simple. And I'll tell you a really quick story. I knew I was going to be successful in this when I had an appointment at 8 o'clock and the person no-showed. My 10:30 called me when I was in a parking lot and said they weren't going to be able to meet me. My lunch appointment didn't show up that day on that fourth try after being shut down 3 times. And I just had that feeling that, if I was willing to continue through that adversity, that we were probably onto something here. And I was right.
I think that's a huge part of being an entrepreneur, is that you have to be able to take failure, whether it's your own mistake or somebody else's mistake, and be able to continue on and not live in that, I didn't succeed, so I guess I'll never succeed kind of mentality. And I've seen that in my career too. There were years that were just awful years, and I thought, am I crazy to be doing this? And then you just keep swinging the bat. Eventually, get the bat on the ball. So
Yeah, like
no,
I say,
it's huge.
if you have something that benefits people, if you in our club benefits people because we introduce them to potential business partners, our magazine is a really informational, well-written magazine. Some of the best writers in Philadelphia write for us, so we know we have something of value. So if I approach a bank, for example, and with an advertising proposal and they turn me down, well, that's their prerogative. They don't see it, but I've got 8 other banks that I'm working with, so not everybody's going to, could come on in and be a client. I understand that. I don't take it personally. I just move on to the next one. And I've gotten pretty good at that.
Like I said, I think that's key, because a lot of people who don't succeed in business can't take that quote rejection, and it's devastating to them, and not able to move forward through it. There's going to be more no's than yeses, I've learned in business, and that's why you treasure the yeses so much more.
Yeah,
it really
see,
makes a difference.
it's funny. You talked about being afraid to approach girls when you were young. Well,
Yeah,
I was a little bit like that myself. And I had a guy who was, I was taller than him. I thought I was a little bit better looking than him. And this guy was outrageous the way he would meet girls like the first time and walk away with a great date. And I was struggling. And basically I said, how do you do this? How do you get these beautiful girls to talk with you and then go out with you? He goes, I just keep asking them all till one says yes. I said, you know what? that's a pretty good philosophy. I never thought about that, but he was right. He kept asking until one said yes, and it's kind of similar in business too.
it really is.
You know what, Ken? I love what you shared about the emotion, because I know for myself, I have 2 businesses. I left corporate in 2020, but I was letting my emotions get in the way of decisions that I was making.
Yeah.
And you really have to table that. And it's not an easy thing to do, but to be successful, that's what I've learned. Like, take the emotion, take a pause, take the emotion, put it over here. I'll get to you later, and then make the decisions.
Yeah, I think it's a natural feeling for most people who care about what they do and who they are. But you're right. You have to just kind of systematically sort through the people that you think may be a good fit for you and your business, and then some see it, some don't, some take a while. And one of my best clients I called on for 3 or 4 years until he would even see me, and now he's a Chairman's Club member and a great friend, and he brings so many clients to the table for us. But it was a process. So we had to work to get to that point. And that's one thing I see in young people today is like they want to meet somebody and have them sign a contract. And I say to everybody I talk to, it really doesn't work like that.
No.
Sales is always going to be a face-to-face, one-on-one situation. Now, there are price buyers that you can get via email or via the internet, but if you develop a relationship selling, then you have to go out and meet people and develop relationships and get them comfortable with you. And then once you get them, all of a sudden their entire network opens up to you. So that would be a piece of advice I would give the young people in sales for sure.
Excellent. Thank you. Ken, I know you shared before the show started that you've got a hard stop. You've got some exciting things going on. So I just want to be mindful of that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to the Sixers game tonight with some clients, and I'm excited
Nice.
about the Sixers with James Harden. So hopefully
Yeah.
they'll bring home a win. But I want to tell Justin, I'd really admire you for staying with the club, and I know you've been through some personal trials, and you're a very inspirational guy. And I appreciate you asking me to be on your show, and of course. We'll do the best that we can to promote it and try to get you some more viewers on your next attempt.
Ken, I really appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. It really does mean a lot coming from you. So I really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank
Ken,
you
I'm
very
going to
much.
spotlight you. And if you could just share with our audience, we're putting up your email and your phone number. What's the best way for people to contact you, and who would you like to reach out to you?
Really, any business person that would like to attend one of our events and check it out. We have we'll have 150 to 250 people at our monthly events. And as Justin attested to, they're not only the quantity of people is important, they're the right people. So email me, Ken at JerseyManMagazine.com, or shoot me a text at 856-912-4007 if you're really interested. We'll give you a guest pass to one of our events so you can check it out and see if it's a good fit for you.
All right. Thank you so much. Go Sixers.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Ken, have a great time tonight. Bring home a win for us.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Good. Best of luck to both of you. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's a great guy.
Isn't he?
Yes,
He
he
really
really
is.
is.
I mean,
What he's created is truly amazing. And I love the fact that he shared that he came from this successful sports career and had difficulty getting a job. He wasn't, you would think, oh, you could just walk in the door and go, hey, it's me, but that was real. That was authentic.
Yeah, and he's a typical athlete. I think that adversity makes him stronger. It just seems like anybody who's successful in athletics, a lot of those folks are able to translate that into being successful in business because they know how to take a hit and just get up and keep running again. So I think that's what Ken has done, and he's done a great job. It really is a great club, and anybody who would want to join it, believe me, you'll get your money's worth. I promise you that.
And when you talk about take a hit, that's a serious hit. That's,
Yeah. He literally took hits.
Yeah. I know. It's amazing. Justin, I would love to just spotlight you again and share with our audience. You've had some adversities that you have overcome, and your business, where you are today and where you were before, it's not the same. So what can you share with our audience about those two things?
Well, the training business goes up and down. There's no doubt about that. I think anybody who's in corporate training knows that when the economy's doing well, training usually is doing well. When the economy goes down, one of the first things that people or businesses cut is training. But with Amy's support and my family's support, I've really been able to stay the course and accept that there are going to be some down years and keep moving. And now we're a six-figure business, and that's not something that was easy to get to. That was something that took a long time to do, and it was not easy to find clients at first. And I'm hoping that, especially with what we've gone through with the pandemic, that people see the value in training. It really is not. I think a lot of times people look at training as we're spending money and how much return on investment are we getting, and it's very hard to quantify that. But I think if companies really took a look at training, they would see that the return on investment is very high. When you teach people to be sufficient, where you don't have to hire more people to help, where you don't have to sit at somebody's desk and walk them through their job, it makes a huge difference. And it's amazing. The computer training is what I sell mostly, but 76% of your success as either an entrepreneur or as an employee are the soft skills: conflict management, communication skills, time management. And those are the hardest classes to sell. Uh, and again, it's not to say that the computer classes are not important, because they are. But again, 76% of your success comes down to those types of skills. Again, time management, communication skills, conflict management, project management. So I really want to try to get into doing more of that and helping people along with their careers there. And like I said earlier in the show, helping kids with computer skills, because right now at all the schools that I've seen, of course, they're using Google Docs and they're using Google Sheets, and that's fine. That it works, and the kids are learning with that. But the problem is when they get out of school, they're not going to have Google Docs or Google Sheets. They're going to have Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. So I want to start getting kids into that, and also help reinforce what they're learning now, like the order of operations, for instance. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That was the acronym, or the mnemonic device, rather, to learn the order of operations. So, what we're trying to do with Just For You is make it affordable training for people, so that they can get the most out of their skills possible. And that's really the goal. And then, of course, Jacqueline, we talked about the charity. We're working so hard to try to get that back on track. It has not been easy with the pandemic. It's very, very hard to ask a company to put out money to be a corporate sponsor, when they're struggling too with the pandemic. So we're starting to move forward again. We want to try to get that NHL alumni celebrity hockey game going again. We're hoping to get John LeClaire back. We had him signed up for the last one, and some other former Flyers that people are excited about. And we really want to make this the template for NHL cities throughout North America. We'd love to be able to do this. We had talks with people in Toronto to try to do it up there. I would love to do it all over North America. So at this point, it's one step at a time. We got to get Philly going first, and then once that happens, hopefully that'll be the template to get us rolling and move into other cities. So we'll see what happens.
Lots of exciting things, Justin. What can our audience do to help you with that event?
Well, if you go to our website, it's www.checkmatescharity.com. I'm going to be updating the website, getting more information about it as we move forward. Right now, we're just in preliminary talks about when we're going to start. Again, it looks like the fall of 2022 or the spring of 2023. We're probably going to be closer to the spring of 23. I think that's more likely. But yeah, if you go to our website, there'll be information about it. We'll let you know what players we get. We'll let you know the dates and the times. And what we do afterwards is really cool. We have a dinner with these NHL stars, and they tell us stories about when they played and games and all this stuff that you'd love to hear behind the scenes. So you can have a drink with some of the ex-Flyers that you loved over the years. It's cool. It really is nice.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fabulous. I've always been a huge Flyers fan, so it's going to happen. You're going to make this happen. Yeah, for sure. And Justin, I have to ask you about the magic number 400. How are you doing on that?
Yeah. I'm trying to become the first ostomate. For those who don't know, I have an ileostomy, permanent ileostomy, and one of the things that was really important to me was to be able to still be a weightlifter afterwards. Weightlifting has been a huge part of my life since I was really 16. And at this point, I don't know if any ostomate has ever bench pressed 400 pounds. I'm going for the 405. Right now, I'm about at 385. So we're getting closer. We're moving towards it, but it takes time. It's not easy, and it's something that I'll be pretty excited when I get there.
How do you move forward? Do you go in increments of 2 pounds or 5 pounds?
Mostly what I try to do is I try to bench press a weight that I could get about 4 times. So I might put 340 on the bar and bench press that 4 times. And then the next time I work out, I try to go for a 5th. So I try to keep it at the same weight and see if I could add a rep. And then, your body gets tired and there's times where your central nervous system just can't handle it anymore. So I'll drop it down to 225 and do, like 22 reps with that. So I'll just do a ton of reps with lighter weight. But it's a balancing act. There is a such thing as overtraining syndrome. So you have to really be careful with that. So yeah, I mean, that's why it's not easy to get to, because as you get closer, it gets exponentially harder. It really does.
Now you want to bench it one time, is that
One
correct?
time.
One time,
Just
405.
get 405, get it down and back up on my own, and I'll be happy.
And I think you said to me before that your family assists you in this, right? Spotting you and
My
encouraging
wife
you.
spots me. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
she spots me. Yeah.
So somebody's gonna be there with the camera when
Someone will
this.
be, yes, probably my daughter. My oldest daughter will probably be videoing it, and Amy will be spotting me just to
And
make sure I don't lose it.
yeah, no, it's good to have someone spot it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
when do you think that this is going to happen? Because it's going to happen, and it's happening this year. When is it going to happen?
I'm hoping by June.
Okay, right around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, we're
That's
getting
exciting.
there. We're getting
Good
there.
for you. And speaking of June, Take Steps Walk is taking place at Lincoln Financial Field, and you and I are starting a new show next Monday.
Yes.
Next Monday, and it's called Take Steps and Kick IBD. So I would love for you to just share a little bit with our audience what we're going to be doing. We are raising money and awareness for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation through the Take Steps Walk. But Justin, what else should our audience know?
Yeah, we're going to have folks on who have been through inflammatory bowel disease. I myself am a patient. As you know, Dr. JACALYN's a patient as well. For me, I was diagnosed back in 2002, and it just got progressively worse. And over the years, it was just a nonstop going through pain and accidental bowel movements and blood and all the terrible things that come with IBD. And then unfortunately my colon became highly precancerous, and I had to have it removed. So I do have a permanent ileostomy now. I am ulcerative colitis free because of that surgery.
Yay!
So yeah, there's a plus
Yay.
side to it. Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to have people on who have been through what JACALYN and I have been through. We're talking to doctors about maybe new techniques that are coming around or new medications to help people. Just let people know they're not alone with this disease. Crohn's and colitis is really, it doesn't get the publicity that other diseases get. And I think people think that these are just bathroom diseases, but they're much more than that. They can affect other parts of the body, and they can also, talk about affecting your psyche. Having to wear diapers at the age of 26 or 27, that's really not fun. So, and even little kids. I mean, the highest incident rates now, the graphic, the population, it's growing in children under 18. So that's the biggest segment of the population where Crohn's and colitis is growing. So a lot of kids are struggling with these diseases. So we're going to have people talk about that and try to get as much money's great, but information is even more important. I think the money will come when more people know the stories.
I agree with you, and thanks for your transparency and sharing that.
Sure.
I also wanted to mention that as a support group facilitator, younger and younger people are reaching out all the time. It is unbelievable. It's hitting so many young people and they don't know how to deal with it. People don't talk about it. And to your point about wearing diapers, I've had to wear diapers too. Nobody wants to hear about it. Right?
Nope.
Nobody wants to.
Very hard.
So, it is. It is. And I have a new book coming out, which I actually have dedicated to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, Philadelphia, Delaware chapter, because the people there really helped me get a new perspective on life. So I'll always be grateful to them.
Yeah, and you do amazing work for them as well. So it's reciprocal for sure.
Well, thank you. I really do enjoy it. Justin, I want our audience to know that we are so thrilled to have you here. You're here the first Monday. Is this the first? Yes, the first Monday
Yes.
of every month.
Yes.
for Entrepreneur and So Much More. And then you're coming back the second Monday and the fourth?
I think it was second and third, I think.
Second and
I
third.
have to
Okay.
double check. Yeah, I think it's second and third.
Second and third for the Take Steps and Kick IBD. And for people who want to be a guest on the IBD show, they can go over to the website, USA Global TV. And for Entrepreneur and So Much More, contact Justin directly because he already has a group of people that are set up to come on, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yay! All right. Anything else you want to share with our audience before we wrap up tonight, Justin?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to be able to talk to people and not only on the Entrepreneur and So Much More, but also with the IBD show coming up. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Listen, thank you. I love being with you and doing this together. And the next show is going to be wonderful as well. And if people want to get involved, they can join our team and actually walk with us when we go to Lincoln Financial Field. And I hope I have the date right. I want to say June 26th.
It sounds right. It sounds right. Well, I'm just going off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it's such a fun time too. I mean, people get to be on the field and stuff. That's really, really neat.
And when we raise $5,000, we get to go into the Eagles locker room as well.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually was able to do that one time as a special event, and it was really neat to be able to do that. So I'm looking forward to coming back to the area because I'm down in Florida and I'll be making my big return for that event. And I'll be really grateful to be walking with you and the rest of our team members.
That sounds great to me.
All right, Justin, I'm going to spotlight you again. And if you can just share with our audience, how do people connect with you? And there's obviously various things people can connect with you for, whether it's the training or the charity or anything else. So who would you like to reach out and what's the best way to get to you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for any kind of training, if you're looking for a new job and you need some new skills to be able to land that job, just go to, even if you have a job right now, maybe you're looking to learn how to do pivot tables. Maybe you're need to know how to build a PowerPoint presentation. Just go to www.justforyoutc.com, and that's the website. So it's www.allspelledout.justforyoutc.com. My email address there is justin@justforyoutc.com. If you're interested in getting involved with the NHL celebrity game, if you want to play with these NHL players, if you want to be a part of the development team, please go to justin@checkmatescharity.com and email me. The website for Checkmates is www.checkmatescharity.com. So you could go there and see when the game is going to be played and who's going to be a part of it. And if you want to give me a call, my cell number is 610-324-5545. I'd be happy to talk to you there as well.
Okay, I think we've got them all there. So all of the contact information is in the comments on whatever platform that you are watching from. If you're listening on Business Talk Radio, it is Justin, Justin, at checkmatescharity.com. And the phone number I know you gave already, but we'll give it again, 610-324-5545.
And we're also on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, LinkedIn. So we're everywhere.
Lots of ways to reach out.
That's right.
What do you think about us being in front of the Philadelphia skyline and the Ben Franklin Bridge?
I'm liking that. That's really cool. Yeah.
I'm liking it too. I went through a lot of graphics and I thought this is the one. It was speaking to me. So I'm glad it speaks to you as well.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
All right, Justin, I will be reaching out to you so we can discuss next week. And really excited to make this happen.
I am too.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Dr.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, whether you're watching on the live or the replay. We had another show right before this today, which was a brand new show called Leadership of the Heart. And our guest was Ian Pelham Turner. So if you missed that, please do go over to our website. Our website is usaglobaltv.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which is also USA Global TV. Okay, a quick couple of plugs for me. I have also, in addition to running this platform at USA Global TV, I have drjacalyn.com is my personal business. And there I am the listening mentor. I teach people how to listen. I would love for you to join our community. And there's a lot of benefits that you get for that. It's $11 a month. And you can go over to drjacalyn.com/join. Also, I have a new book coming out, as I mentioned. It's called Adversity to Awesome. We are actually going to be changing this cover. We're going to be putting a poll out there for people to vote. But my story is also included in there. And so if you would like to hear it, it's actually on the website, usaglobaltv.com. You can click on SoundCloud and you can hear my voice as I share a little bit of information, not all of it, because I want you to buy the book. And you can go over and do that on my website or buy the book on Amazon.com. We're taking pre-orders. Okay, they're the only announcements I have for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Ken. And also thanks to all of you for your support and for watching us and helping spread the word. We'll be back again tomorrow. Take care. God bless you.